The easiest things to start are often the hardest things to escape. A button removes a trip. A free trial removes a decision. An app removes a phone call. A saved card removes the tiny friction of paying. For a few seconds, life feels lighter. But convenience has a hidden pattern. It does not always remove effort from life. Often, it removes effort from the first moment, then brings it back later as something you have to manage. This video explains why the things designed to simplify your life often create the systems you now have to maintain. Start with the entrance. Most convenient products are built to make the beginning feel almost weightless. Ordering food is easier than cooking. Starting a subscription is easier than buying a product. Creating an account is easier than filling out a form. Accepting a free trial is easier than deciding whether something is worth paying for. That first moment matters because hesitation lives there. The less you have to think, the more likely you are to begin. And that is where the paradox begins. Convenience often simplifies the entrance, not the entire system. The sign-up is short, the maintenance is long, the purchase is instant, the account stays behind, the free trial feels harmless. The renewal date becomes your problem later. The app solves one task, but it also adds another login, another setting, another payment method, another notification, and another small thing to remember. One of these is manageable. 10 of them becomes a lifestyle made of tiny control panels. This is why modern convenience can feel so strange. Each tool feels reasonable on its own. None of it looks dramatic. But together, these tools create a quiet layer of administration that follows you around. You are not just using services anymore. You are maintaining relationships with systems. Subscriptions make this especially clear. A one-time purchase ends after the transaction. A subscription continues. It asks to be remembered, updated, renewed, canceled, compared, justified, and sometimes escaped. That does not mean every subscription is bad. Many are useful. The deeper point is that a subscription changes the shape of the decision. Instead of asking once, the decision keeps returning in smaller forms. Do I still use this? Is this price still worth it? Did the trial renew? Which account did I use? Where is the cancel button? Why did I keep paying for something I barely noticed? That is not one big burden. It is something more modern. Small friction repeated over time. Consumer research around digital fairness found that 40% of consumers had difficulty canceling a subscription because of how the website or app was designed. 29% experienced a free trial turning automatically into a paid version. 31% said specific design choices made them spend more time or money than they intended. Those numbers matter because they reveal the real issue. The problem is not simply that people forget things. The problem is that many systems are easier to enter than to leave. That is why the idea behind click to cancel became so important. If signing up is simple, canceling should be simple too. The rule sounds obvious, which is exactly why it is powerful. It exposes the asymmetry. The convenient part is often placed where the company benefits most, at the beginning. The complicated part appears later, when the user is already inside. But this pattern is bigger than subscriptions. Digital life is full of small promises of simplification. No paper, no waiting room, no phone call, no physical visit, no manual payment, no long checkout. And often, that really does help. But a digital process can remove one old obstacle while creating new ones. A form becomes a portal. A counter becomes an account. A receipt becomes an email thread. A password becomes a reset flow. A simple service becomes a dashboard with settings, permissions, updates, alerts, and terms that can change. This is why organizations that study digital government still talk about simplification, streamlined processes, and reducing administrative burdens. Even advanced digital systems can become complicated if every solution adds another layer for the person to manage. The friction did not vanish, it changed shape. And because the new friction is small, scattered, and boring, it is harder to see. A single password reset does not feel like a social problem. A single renewal date does not feel like a system. A single app notification does not feel like work. But modern life is not built from one app. It is built from hundreds of tiny commitments that were all easy to start. That is the deeper mechanism. Convenience scales commitments. When starting something is effortless, you start more things. When every service feels small, you collect more services. When every platform says it will save you time, you end up with more platforms to check. The unit gets simpler, but the total system gets heavier. This is why the old idea of convenience can be misleading. We usually measure convenience at the moment of action. How fast was the order? How easy was the sign up? How few clicks did it take? How smooth was the checkout? But life is not only the checkout. Life is the month after the checkout. The renewal, the receipt, the email, the password, the cancellation, the update, the new policy, the forgotten charge, the duplicate account, the app you downloaded for one task and never cleaned up. The modern world is very good at reducing the pain of beginning. It is much worse at reducing the burden of owning the aftermath. And that changes the question. Not only does this save me effort right now, but also, what system does this add to my life after the easy part is over? Because the real cost of convenience is often not paid at the moment you click. It is paid later in attention, memory, decisions, and maintenance. So the final twist is this. Modern life is not complicated despite convenience. In some ways it is complicated because of convenience. Every easy button can become a small door into a larger system. And when enough of those doors stay open, the life that was supposed to feel simpler starts to feel like something you have to manage. Convenience is not a lie. It is a trade. Less effort now, more system later.